Mathusala will start?
Yeah, we'll start.
Okay. Roshana, you launch it.
You can formally introduce and do all that.
Yes. Yeah.
Give me
She's
5 minutes.
launching. She's
Yeah.
launching and then I'm starting.
Yeah. Talk for more time. Give me 2 minutes.
Evening to one and all present here. We thank you for joining for the day 4 of the webinar on ethics and values for teaching professional and also administrators. And today is the 4th day, and each day we are really having very good learning. Kind of it's becoming learning and sharing session. The speakers are also able to get a lot of new insights from the participants, and we thank you so much for your involvement. And once again, this online FDP, it's a joint effort of the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Rani Anna Government College of Women, Tirunelveli, and Globathic South Asia Center, Bangalore. Regarding the flow of the event today, once again, we have Dr. John Mathusala with us, and you all have listened to him. He's the course curator, and we thank him for being with us today also. Regarding the questionnaire, we had shared before the FDP. It is very much needed for each of you to submit. Once again, I'll put the link today in the chat box. And again, please remember, it is a pre-FDP, and this we are collecting for the speakers to know the depth or the level of understanding with regard to ethics and ethical practices in your campuses. So that is the only purpose. And also they will know, they will be able to identify the gaps and they'll be able to address as part of their talk. If you have done it, you can ignore, and those who haven't done, please do it. And once again, I say that there is no daily feedback for this FDP. We have only 3 different collection from you. One is the pre-FDP survey. One is the post-FDP that we'll do after the FD is over. And finally, we'll send you the feedback link where you have to share all the information that you want that should be adopted for our upcoming planning and also in our future programs. So we'll collect the feedback after the end of all the 7 days. And we encourage once again each of you to use the chat box to introduce yourself and your institution, the place, and also the country. So we would like to know really from which, how many countries people are attending, and also from India, from how many states we have representation. It is for that purpose. And please use the Q&A box just to post your questions. And also all your comments, you can use the chat box. And once again, I extend a warm welcome to all the participants who have taken time from their busy schedule, and also the speaker, Dr. John Mathusala. So at this moment, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Dr. John Mathusala once again. He's an educationist and a literature enthusiast, driven with the passion for training, and he has more than 20 years of unique experience with an industry academia interface, which is coupled with an expertise in teaching and training. He was resource person for Andhra Pradesh Human Resource Development Institute and also Board of Studies member for different colleges. He has special interest in human resource development, augmenting standards of education, creative writing, teacher training, literature, voice and accent training, and also soft skill. Dr. John Mathusala has presented and published quite a lot of papers at national and international seminars within India and also outside India. He was a panelist and resource person for over 14 webinars on diverse topics related to ethics in higher education. He is also a published poet. He is here today to speak about capacity building for custodians of ethical practices in higher education. I request all of you to applaud him from wherever you are, and Hearty welcome, Methuselah. Please take over the floor.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes. Yes, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks, Rajula, for your kind words, and thanks, Dr. Selvi, Dr. Darling Selvi, Rani Anna College, and the participants also for your warm welcome. This is the second time I'm speaking to you all. Good. Once again, my appreciation to everyone. You know, you have your own choices and chances of going away, being with your family, doing something. But then, you have chosen to come here to be in this session on ethics that gives us lot of hope. I'm telling you, lot of hope. Because people are not thinking of ethics. Ethics is the last one in the agenda of anybody, or sometimes it's not there at all, because people think that, okay, fine, world is like this, I can't change this world anymore. So this is the kind of the attitude we see, because we are fashioned like that. The attitude is fashioned like that because we are becoming helpless, completely helpless, due to the situation that is around us. But still, I think we are all here to light a candle in complete darkness. When it is pitch dark, we cannot, complain that everything around us is pitch dark, or we cannot curse the darkness. We need to light a candle and wait for sunlight, right? The sun to come. That's how actually we have to work on ethics. And I think that is there in you all. And that's the reason why you're all here to discuss ethics. And today we are going to discuss something very, very important, and where I want every one of you to be a part of this, very active part of this, because without you, today's session is not going to happen. I am very clear about what I am saying, and you will also, uh, as the session goes on, you will also realize that without your participation, this talk today cannot happen. Shall we start? I request Rajula madam to uh, publish the PPT, to present it.
Yes, done.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rajula. So today we're going to talk about networking and collaborations for custodians of ethical practices in higher education. So we are talking about, thank you, Dr. Gaurav Thakur has joined from Gujarat. That's great. Tolani Commerce College. So networking and collaborations is what we are talking today. That is the important topic. And most important of all that is the custodians of ethical practices in higher education. Varudhini madam from IGNOU, welcome. She's also from Gujarat. So I want to hear from you all, because I want this to be very, very participative. Florence madam has joined. Amrita from Ghaziabad had joined. Well, who do you think are the custodians of ethical practices in higher education? Can I want somebody to post this in the chat, or if you can unmute and talk, I'd be very happy. Academicians, Mona Lisa Dutt. Professor Mona Lisa says academicians are the custodians of ethical practices in higher education. You're 100% right, madam. You're 100% right. Yes, academicians are the custodians of ethical practices in higher education, particularly in the university. Dr. Bhautik Patel has joined from Gujarat. Yes, we are the owners. We are the owners, or taking the ownership. I think it's John Kennedy. Professor John Kennedy, who says the owners of the educational institutions are the custodians of ethical practices, ethical practices in higher education. Owners, owners. When I say owners, it is not just of the educational institutions, but whoever takes the ownership is the owner. So custodians are people who are the Mona Lisa that says torch bearers. Yes, true. Yes. So custodians, we need to understand who custodians are. Every individual says, Fatima ma'am. Yes, every individual is a custodian. Yes, that is the ultimate fact. That's the ultimate fact. Every individual is a custodian of ethics. But when it comes to custodians of ethical practices in higher education, uh, it is everyone who is called a stakeholder in uh, academics. Stakeholder, and the most part is the key part should be played by academicians. That means the faculty. You and I, we are the custodians of ethical practices in higher education. Yes. This term custodians is a very, very dear term to me, and it would be a dear term to you also if we actually understand who is the custodian of our children. We are the custodians of our children, right? Neighbor cannot be a custodian of our children, right? And for a company, who is the custodian of a company? Let us say corporate company. Now, Ratan Tata has passed away. So, who would be the custodian of Tata company? There is Noel Tata who has come as custodian of the Tata company. Along with him, there are some board of directors. They will all come together as custodians of the Tata Sons wealth, right? Tata Sons wealth. Now they are the custodians of the wealth of Tata. But then, as long as we have seen Tata and his predecessors, as long as they were there, it was a very ethical company. And we hope that this would be an ethical company even now, also with whoever is there. Now, our ancestors, I mean, the ones who have taught us earlier in olden days, black and white days, when education started, they were not paid well, but still they did not have any facility. Students did not have facility, faculty, I mean, teachers did not have facility. No facility was there like today it is. But still, they could stick on to whatever was there, and what they stuck on to was ethics. So they started driving ethics into a nation. See, I would always say India is a nation of peace. I mean, you can guarantee anybody, I'm telling you, anybody can guarantee India is a peace loving nation. And then it is the safest country in the world. India is the safest country in the world because everybody in India thinks that he is a custodian of peace. Everybody in our neighborhood also, we love peace. If there are different communities, now we get all the good things on Ramzan from our Muslim neighborhood. We get all the nice things from the Hindu friends that we have in our neighborhood. We get all cakes, biscuits, and all those good things on a Christmas day from the Christian neighbors. It is like that, India is a community that has built itself, and they are our the people around us, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, whoever are there, they are our community. They are our community. We feel that we belong to them. Whatever good or bad happens to them, we are there. We present ourselves there. If possible, we will put our hands around them, console them, and say, "Don't worry, we are there." right? So, Meridia Selva, Madam Justin is asking, sir, do you really think India is a peace-loving nation? Yes, India is a peace-loving nation because there may be people who are not. There may be a few people who are not, but definitely India is a peace-loving nation. That's why we could not go to war with any country because we were peaceful with our own selves, you know. So we now today we are talking about preserving our culture, preserving our traditions, preserving our ancient texts. We are talking about that. So when people are saying let us preserve the ancient texts, let us preserve the traditions, the cultures, and all that, they may feel. I mean, we may look at them as conservative people, but then they feel that they are the custodians of that particular culture or tradition or the religious texts or whatever. So this is India. And then can we have individualized communities in India? I mean, can there be a street full of people belonging to a particular community? Maybe once upon a time it was, but now we find there is a lot of diversity in India, like I was talking about the neighborhoods that we have. So what happens is we have a network of a neighborhood, right? We have a network of neighborhood. We go to them when it is bad or when it is good. Sometimes children also they exchange their good things with each other. They defend each other, and all these things happen. We have seen this. So this is when we talk about networking. This is what is networking. Networking, when we network, we become a community. When we collaborate, then we are about to do something which is big and innovative. So, first of all, my appeal to everyone is let us feel like a custodian, like a custodian. The next thing is, as a custodian, we are very responsible, and we are responsible for networking and collaborations for ethical practices in higher education. That is what we need to do. Can we go to the next slide, madam? So, establishing ethics office or committees is what networking. Deval's iPhone to all panelists facing network issues. Yes. Yeah, I'm not talking about that network, but I'm talking about the networking that we must be doing, the collaboration. So establish ethics offices or committees. We need to establish ethics offices and committees in our own institutions, in our communities, faculty, to create independent units which are responsible for drafting policies. Can we draft policies, my dear? Can we draft policies? Can we address grievance? Can we promote ethical governance? Yeah, that's the reason why we have to establish ethical offices and committees. When we network, this is what's to what is to happen. Then we need to network to develop codes of conduct. Like we need to define clear ethical guidelines for faculty, clear ethical guidelines for students and administrators, and we need to align this with global standards. Have you ever thought of global standards? How many of us, let us ask ourselves this question, how many of us have referred to the educational goals of UNESCO? UNESCO's educational goals by 2030. That's great, Professor Kennedy. That's great. So this is what we need to do. What are the other big universities, so-called big and ranking universities, what are they doing? What are their ethics? Are they following that? What are their practices? What are their codes of conduct? Uh, do we share this? Those global standards are we looking at? Are we looking at only our own standards? Now, set up monitoring mechanism. Can we set up monitoring mechanisms? We have to if we network. We need to introduce systems for auditing academic integrity and administrative transparency. Academic integrity and administrative transparency. One is up to the educators, that means the faculty. The next one, administrative transparency, is about the institution. So we need to network. Without the institution, we are not there. Without us, there is no institution also. Can we go to the next slide? So building professional networks. Now we know why the purpose of networking. Now how to build professional network. The custodians of ethical practices in higher education can benefit from building professional networks with colleagues, the people who are next to us within their institution and across other academic institutions. There is a kind of competition, a rivalry between institutions these days because of admissions, private institutions. I'm not talking about government institutions, but private institutions, because they need to compete with each other for admissions. This is starting. So this rivalry, is it turning bitter or is it going to be better? Is it for the better? So can we network with the other institutions that are there after the admissions? It is just a rivalry. I'm not talking about enmity. Even though there is this rivalry, can we walk across the road to the other institution and then have a network with them? Do we have the initiative? How do we start this initiative? I want answers from you. Dr. Pravinath, welcome. Then why? Why should we build professional networks? To provide opportunities for sharing experiences, for exchanging ideas, and from learning from each other's successes and challenges in promoting ethical practices. Yeah, Professor Portia says sharing ideas. Yes, ma'am, exactly. So to provide opportunities for sharing experiences, we need this professional network. So are we ready to create opportunities? Create opportunities? Yes, Professor Kennedy, growing together. Can we create opportunities for networking and sharing experiences? Can we create a platform for exchanging ideas? Can we create a platform for learning each other's from learning each other's successes and challenges in promoting ethical practices? Some time ago, I shared this thing. When I was working with the Maritime University, which is almost international university because we had 500 plus international students, and all our students were going on ships, or either they were going on ships or they were going to build ships. It was like that. So I had this chance of going abroad and talking to different companies, and then presenting papers also. So one such meeting, I met a friend from Canada who is working in Japan, and then we came up with an idea because sending students from there to India, from India to there is very difficult. Can we have an online exchange program? Today everything is online, and that was much, much, much before COVID. So we have done it somewhere around 2010, I think. There was this exchange program, student exchange program, but this was online student exchange program. Can we have communities, because we are with our systems and we can be in our own institution, we need not go anywhere. You can actually convince the administrators of the universities and colleges, sir, we will be in the campus. But online, can we have networks? Network on the network. Can we have networks like that? And can we have online exchanges, exchanging ideas, sharing experiences? And can we learn from each other's success and challenges? Can we give some ideas to them, take some ideas from them? Can we share our challenges? And all this in promoting ethical practices, can we do that? Thank you. Next one, please. Engaging with professional associations. This is very, very important. Custodians, that means you, I don't want to call you faculty because you're all custodians. That's what I have decided to call you all. You are the custodians and you can participate in professional associations and organizations dedicated to promoting ethics and integrity in higher education. That means you can participate with Globe Ethics. You can be a partner of Globe Ethics. You can associate with us and then dedicate to promoting ethics and integrity in higher education because we are one organization. Have you ever thought of, uh, you know, uh, uh, collaborating with international organizations like UNESCO, like UN? At least did somebody try and write a letter to UN or UNESCO or the, Amnesty International? See, when we do something that the custodians do, then we really become custodians, and we are the custodians in the making. So these associations provide platforms for networking. So, like Globe Ethics is ready if you are ready for networking. For professional development, this is FDP. This FDP we are doing for professional development. Once we get connected, thank you, Professor John Kennedy. Once we get connected, then we can think of how we can develop and then grow, shoulder to shoulder. How can we come together and develop professionally? Because you are all great resources, you have great talents, you have knowledge, and you may be thinking that 90% of my talent or my knowledge is going waste. I need a platform for this, and definitely we are there to collaborate with you and see that you become visible. And then collaboration through conferences, workshops, webinars, and online communities. We need to collaborate through like FDPs, we have conference, we have workshops, webinars, and online communities. All this to promote ethics. We can do that, right? And that's why only custodians can do that. Next one, please. Custodians can collaborate with government agencies. What you can do? You can collaborate with government agencies. You can collaborate with accrediting bodies like NAC. Then you can collaborate with AICTE or any other accrediting body like CRISIL. Or you can associate yourselves with professional associations, non-profit organizations also, which are working in the area of ethics. Number one is Globe Ethics, and if there are others also, you can actually profit. Non-profit organizations mostly talk about ethics, so you can actually invite them to your institutions. You can be a part of them, start a dialogue with them, and collaborating with the industry. Industry wants to be very, very ethical. They have this, internal ethical committees they have. They want employees to be very, very ethical. If the industry must be strong, robust, then its employees must be very strong in ethics. That is what industry is looking for. And if you can tell the industry, we have nurtured students who are ethical, any industry will just pull them. I'm telling you. See, skills, knowledge, they are one thing. But uh, skills, knowledge are one thing. But ethics is another thing. You can convince anybody on ethics? If there is any contradiction, I would actually like to answer this, or I would be very happy if anybody contradicts this. But then what I say, because I am in the industry and I have been to the industry. I mean, I was most of the time into industry academia interface, and I have understood from different leaders, industry leaders, that they want people who are ethical, who are ethical. I'll tell you one story. There was one student of mine who wanted to join the IT industry. So he studied MBA after his engineering, and he didn't want to pursue a career in management. So he thought, let me go to industry. And then he came up with a fake, letter, fake experience letter. He went to the industry because he went with that fake experience letter because somebody told that without all these things you cannot get a job. So he went there, and the HR asked all kinds of questions. And when he expressed, finally the HR said, "We are very happy. We will take you." But this guy, he said, "Sorry, madam, I want to tell you some truth." And she said, "What is that?" And he said, "Madam, whatever I have given you is fake certificate. I actually have no experience. I have skills. I have skills, and I will learn if you give me an opportunity. But this letter is a fake letter. I don't want to join on the foundations of a fake letter." And the HR was so impressed that she said, "Either way, you're getting the job. Either way, you're getting the job." And then that guy has joined the job, and you won't believe me, he has gone places. He was in Belgium, he was in Germany, he was in Singapore. Where not, he is in a very top position now. That is what industry wants. Ethical leaders, they want ethical leaders. So if somebody is going on a ship as a captain of the ship, or a pilot of a passenger or whatever aeroplane, they want them to be very, very ethical, very transparent, accountable, so that the passengers can depend on them. Will you board a flight where the pilot is not ethical? Will you go and take a cab where the driver is not ethical at all? Will you go and eat in a hotel where the practices are unethical? Nobody wants. We are actually scared of those things. So industry wants ethical people. Now we are making students not only graduates, but we are making them job ready, right? If we are making them job ready, are they ethical or not is the question. So when we collaborate with external partners of the industry, they will come to us and say what is important, and no, they will talk about the importance of ethics, which the students will actually know and say, fine, this is what, so I will be ethical. And then there are UN bodies. You can collaborate with them if you want. I think Globe Ethics would definitely extend its support in making a collaboration with UN bodies if possible. I'm not sure. Only Rajula madam can tell you. Yes, Professor John Kennedy says if we create ethical jobs, many youth will join us very easily. Yes, 100%, or not 100%, 150% right, sir. Can we go to the next one, please? So to address common ethical challenges and promote ethical standards, so we need this, we need to network to address common ethical challenges, very common ethical challenges, and promote ethical standards. Partnership may involve joint initiatives. Can we sit together and think of a joint initiative? Can we think of a joint initiative? Can we sit together and think of a joint research project. Now, the maths department, Sheikh Abdul Karim, Professor Sheikh. Yes, that is good. What you said is right. Yes, Professor Kennedy, we can think sitting together. Yes, can we devise research projects? Maths department should not be sitting and doing research on maths, or or science department, the other physics department sitting and doing its research alone. No, can it have a collaboration? For that matter, presenter face is covered. My face, okay, fine. Let me see how it is. Yeah, is it? I think it's okay. Fine. So the research project, can we collaborate in doing research? Because if somebody has to send a rocket tomorrow, it needs everything. It needs uh, a software engineer. It needs physics engineer. I mean, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. All kinds of engineers. Somebody who knows physics need to be there. Somebody who knows maths need to be there. So you have all kinds of signs, and then we need a language expert also there, right? To communicate better to the media, and maybe to write. Sometimes the experts in different sciences may not be experts in communication, so they should be helping them. I'll tell you one example. I'll give you one example. Long ago, this is long ago, I'm telling you, there was, I don't know whether it is there now or not, there was an organization called comma. You know comma? Full stop, comma. After joint initiatives, you have seen a comma, no? So the uh, uh, so the thank you, Professor Arun. So this organization's name is comma. You know what this organization was doing? It found a need, and that need was, in Japan, there is a lot of research happening. Japan is a land of technology, science, and it's growing very fast. So all these professors, they were very good at their language, Japanese, but they could not communicate this to the world. So this company, comma, it reached out to them and said, see, all your research papers and all, we will translate into English, and then see that they are published and the world reads them. Because a single man can't do all kinds of efforts. These days, you find all kinds of translation technology coming up. There are a lot of apps, but those days, I'm talking about somewhere around 1999 or so. So they found that they can do something. So this is where language people are needed, right? So when we are talking about ethics, even movies can come into play. Why not, invite movie, directors, and script writers to the colleges and universities and discuss ethics with them, because in movies you find a lot of ethical dilemmas, and movie is interesting, or a story is interesting because of the dilemma that is there in the movie. There is an ethical dilemma, and when you see how the ethical dilemma is dealt with, finally, that keeps you very, very interested. So there are a lot of ethical dilemmas, even particularly when this AI is spreading. I would not be talking about AI at length, because there is another resource person coming to you to talk about AI. But in the context of AI, then how are we going to be ethical? And particularly uh, research projects, when I'm talking about networking, can we network for research projects? Can we network for policy advocacy? So no, somebody may be knowing something which we may not be knowing. We may be knowing one part of that, but the other part of that and the logic behind that. Sir, can you share pre-FDP survey link? Yes, madam, will share. So policy advocacy, uh, people may not be fully competent in this advocacy. I mean, there may be some gray areas, but then these gray areas can be addressed by those experts that are already working in that area. So this is where we need to network. And then resource sharing the resources, another important thing. So people are not actually ready to share, but can we have this sharing of resources when some universities or colleges may be having a different kind of instrument in their lab, and this college may not be having the instrument, but can we share the resource? Can we invite the students of that college to come and visit our lab and then use this facility? Can we can we network there? No, when we start networking, no, we can talk about many things, and particularly ethics. So there will be a kind of peace and calm in the society. There will be kind of uh, uh, you know uh, readiness to share readiness to share their resources. Ultimately, every resource that is there, we are ready to share. And let me tell you, let me bring this point: the environmental issues, many of the environmental issues can be solved if we can network. You know, if we can network. So this will help in not wasting resources. Networking will help in not wasting resources. So partnership should be there. And do you agree on this? If you agree, please type yes in the chat box. If you agree with all these 4 points, partnership should involve in joint initiatives, research projects, policy advocacy, resource sharing. And if you have any idea on this, please come up with these ideas. Please come up with these ideas in the coming days. Definitely, Globe Ethics would like to, help you in networking. We are ready to help you in networking. The community that is there, I see 503 participants here. So minus me and Rajula, it will be 502 or 500. Let us say if the number is. Then if we all can participate and network, what a great resource we will become. We can actually share our ideas, create a platform, create opportunities for each other, create opportunities for publishing on ethics, work on ethics. We can do a lot. So can we go to the next slide, madam? Establishing interdisciplinary collaborations. Now you see on the right side, collaboration means trust. Collaboration means inspiration. Collaboration means exchange. Collaboration means assistance. Collaboration means support. Collaboration means success. Collaboration means sharing. Collaboration is finally a teamwork. We becoming a team is very important, not as groups, but as teams. If we form teams, that to interdisciplinary teams, then we can develop comprehensive approaches to promoting ethical conduct on the campuses. We can actually develop addressing complex ethical dilemmas that are there. Maybe in addressing complex ethical dilemmas, we may be coming up with new paper. Who knows? Who knows? If you're trying to address a complex ethical dilemma, then you maybe, sir, we can publish paper on ethics of ethical publishing. Yes, definitely, Professor Abhishek, we can do that. So who knows if, see, when first of all, when we identify the ethical dilemmas in the academic arena or in your subject or during your research, you can actually develop a paper on that and get it published. It will be a wonderful paper, and then Globe Ethics would be happy to publish if it is, if it is accepted by the publishing team. Definitely, we will be doing that publishing, and that too, it will be a free of cost for you. So, develop comprehensive approach to promoting ethical conduct and addressing complex ethical dilemmas is possible through interdisciplinary collaboration. So I would like to see how many of you would actually say, yes, I'm ready to collaborate interdisciplinarily. Fine. Once I was telling, the maths teacher who talks about trigonometry uh, doesn't talk about what is how the Mount Everest is the height of Mount Everest is calculated, because social studies is a watertight compartment. Mathematics is a watertight compartment. There is no collaboration between these two. So a student knows only the height of the Mount Everest. He never questions how the height of Mount Everest was actually measured. And the maths teacher doesn't tell that no, trigonometry is used to measure the height of Mount Everest or anything like that. And then let us say statistics. Students study probability, but then they never know that the traffic lights are working on probability theory. So where is this interdisciplinary collaboration? If there is no interdisciplinary collaboration, yes, Professor Mona Lisa, you're right. So if there is no interdisciplinary collaboration, we'll be missing on many points, and then the students will be missing the fun of education, the joy of learning something. And if there is no joy in learning, everything will be unethical. I'm telling you, everything will be unethical. Even the food we eat, if we don't enjoy the food we eat, then it will be completely unethical. Yeah, Dr. Reshma, you say I think we are already in collaborations. Yes, I would actually appreciate this collaboration. If you have some ideas, please share with us, Dr. Reshma. Yeah, we are open. See, Globe Ethics is a platform. We are trying to contact you all, network with you, because we want ethics to be promoted in higher education. We don't want ourselves to be promoted. We want ethics to be promoted in higher education. That's the reason why we want to network, because ethics must be the religion finally. Okay, when people are dividing in the name of, religion, caste, creed, region, religion, language, and all that, ethics is the only one common to everyone, and ethics must become our religion. And if that is there, every religion will be talking about ethics. So religious issue will not come. you know so the communities issue, they won't come, regional issues won't come, language issues won't come, because ethics is there in everything. That's the reason why we want to build this. uh, you know uh, uh, yes, Richard Asian says Dr. Rajula was in University of Ghana last time. Yes, thank you, welcome, Dr. Richard. So this networking is what we are looking for. And if you are ready, please come together, and then we will have these interdisciplinary collaborations. Next slide, please. So this networking and collaboration is needed for engaging with industry partners. Like I told you in my earlier speech, they can provide valuable insights and resources for promoting ethical practices in higher education. Yes, industry partners are very, very much needed, particularly in the areas such as research ethics, professional ethics, corporate social responsibility. I would like to share something very, very important to you today. If you go to the if you go to the industry and say, sir, I want to do this particular research in your industry, the industry will say, no, you can't do, because all these files are very, very confidential. You can't do research with us. So today, there is this problem for all the researchers who would like to go and research with the industry, because industry doesn't want to share any of its resources or information with the researcher. This is a very big problem. All the researchers and the universities know this, and some fortunate few may be getting into, but not everyone. So if we can actually make them a partner, of our institution. If those industries, if those corporates become a part of our governing bodies, or if they become a part of our ethical committees, you know, definitely they will be, promoting us and the research, a collaborative research they will be promoting in the industry. So you will be opening not windows, but you will be opening doors to the industrial research, industry academic interface. Please let us work on this for collaborative research. Then professional ethics. So when we talk about, yes, building trust is very important, Shivakumar. Yes, Professor Shivakumar, that is how we build trust. Yes, particularly in the areas of professional ethics, we need to engage with the industry partners. Then corporate social responsibility, CSR. This is what everybody is talking about, CSR. Corporate social responsibility, every company is doing, every industry has to do that, because during the time of Manmohan Singh in the second UPA, I think UPA 2, they have come out with this rule that every corporate has to put some money aside for CSR, corporate social responsibility. And I tell you, this is an experience. uh, Corporate social responsibility, they are putting some money aside, but they don't know how to use that money. They are sometimes, they have some programs that they are doing, but mostly industry, because they focus more on what they have to do, their own innovation, their own business and all that. So there is very less that they focus on CSR funds, and then somebody asks for something, they'll give, or some event management is happening. So if we can actually collaborate with them, yes, it is due to lack of clear vision. Yes. But if we can collaborate with them, see, as academicians, I'm telling you, you people, we are all, as academicians, first thing I'm telling you, we are all thinkers. We are a thinking industry. If somebody says, who are faculty? Who are all the professors and doctors teaching in the educational institutions? I would say this is a thinking industry, my dear. We have thinkers here, but unfortunately situations around us has made us to stop thinking, and we are not thinking anymore. We have just become doers of whatever is required, but we stopped thinking. So Medhavi, no, Medhavi, so that manthan is not happening. That manthan has to happen. That churning must happen. And if that churning happens, and if the industry starts trusting in this churning, and if they start trusting that, yes, they are all intellectuals, they are all thinkers, we need to get their help, definitely they will come to us. And then corporate social responsibility is it will be a great success, and then we can utilize those funds also in the research. I would like to give you a small example and my experience at this point. I was working with the Maritime University some time ago. I think I told you earlier also. So we happened to go to one place. I mean, it was run by L&T. There was this seashore. I think uh, we crossed Dindigal, and I think it's somewhere around Tuticorin, I think. There was this long. I don't remember the exact word for that, but then into the river they built a kind of dune, a kind of dune into the river to stop the waves from hitting the shore. It's an obstructor of the waves. It's a breaker of the waves. So they built that inside. And I went with my team there to actually ask for placements for my students. And then one of the professor who was accompanying me, he's a retired professor, and he came there because he knows somebody there, and then he could talk to them. But once we were there, he looked at what was built there, And he said, what is it? How did you build this? Who gave you this idea? Actually, because of this, you will face lot of problem, because the waves will be diverted in a different way and your shore will be cut from the other side. And the person there, the in charge, the manager there, he actually fell to the feet of this faculty and said, sir, you are the first person from the academics to actually recognize this. And we understood that there is a problem, but we didn't know the problem is because of this. That is a company called L&T. I'm telling you, this is not a joke. That is a company called L&T. And they did not know the solution for this. And this gentleman, who is a faculty, he said, no, you have to immediately remove this and then build it in a different place and a different direction if you don't want the shore to be cut. And L&T immediately recruited him into an expert panel. Immediately. The next day we went to L&T, and then they have taken him into the expert panel. That is what faculty is, I'm telling you. That is what faculty is. That is what professors are. That is what we are. We are thinkers, my dear. We can give solutions to problems. But we need to, corporate doesn't know that we are there as thinkers, and we don't know that the corporate is looking for thinkers. That's the biggest problem here. So uh, uh, I think Rajula, what happened to the presentation? Miss Rajula? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we got disconnected for 1 minute.
Okay, fine.
We're back.
Yeah. So once we know what we are worthy of, then definitely I think we will start thinking. Let us be thinkers, my dear. If we are thinkers, then we are ethical. Yes, we are ethical if we are thinkers, and only that is how we can, show ourselves to the society, to the community around us, and we can become a network of thinkers. Remember this, we will become a network of thinkers on ethics. So, can we go to the presentation, please? Okay. Anyhow, I'll be talking. The presentation may not be possible because of the network, but then sharing and contributing is very, very important for all of us.
I'm sharing it from my side.
Okay. So what are we going to share and contribute? We need to share the approaches and the methods to promoting ethical practices in higher education. We need to share and contribute the approaches and methods to promoting ethical practices in higher education. So different people may have different approaches. Because you are all researchers, you will be knowing the difference between approaches and methods. I don't need to tell you about all these things. But let us share the best practices, the resources, and the innovations that we can do and we can make our students do. So this sharing and contributing, it's not only just sharing. Contributing means creating something, right? When you have something with you, you share. But then contributing means you contribute to some institution or somebody or some ethical dilemma, to crack an ethical dilemma. That is very, very important. And that comes because of your best practices. So custodians, that means you all, can contribute to and benefit from the collective wisdom of the broader ethical community. This is what I told, collective wisdom. When we are together, Like I told you, you are all thinkers. And the next stage is you are all wise people, considered wise people. So this collective wisdom of all of us can contribute to the society and to the broader ethical community out there in the society and in our college, in our classroom. So, sharing and contributing is for leveraging shared experiences and expertise to enhance the institution's ethical culture and practices. So, the institution will feel confident about us when we are thinking. It will feel confident about us when we are showing our wisdom. Nothing unethical is possible. You cannot be wise and be unethical. If you are ethical, you are wise, and that is how we become a network of wise people, right? A collective wisdom will be then possible. So we need to leverage on the shared experiences of each others. We need to share our experience and then enhance the institutional culture of ethics. Then next one, please. Then let us advocate for ethical principles. Collaborative efforts enable custodians to amplify their voice. You can speak, you can amplify your voice, advocate for ethical principles and values within higher education and society at large. And I'm telling you, the wisdom is let us not confront, let us collaborate, let us cooperate, and please no confrontation at all with institution or anybody. And that's the reason why I'm talking about networking. So when we network, whatever voice we use or amplify will actually work for advocating ethical principles. By working together, custodians can advocate for policy changes, institutional reforms also, and then people will start listening to us. When we actually work like the custodians, we can affect the policy changes. Even our students who study with us, tomorrow when they grow up, and maybe if somebody becomes a politician, goes to the, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, or or the state assemblies, they will be there to change some policies, and we will be influencing them. Can we take a place there? A professor in history and politics or economics, uh, there may be some in the community who is in the talk now. So how many students have we influenced so that they will become this changes of policies? How many could we actually uh, reforms could we bring in the institution? Could we actually talk to the higher ups in the institution and come out and talk about and advocate for institutional reforms? This is what must happen. So that is what, no, see, in life everybody dies. But before we die or we retire, let us say, before we retire, can we affect some changes in the lives of students? Can we affect some changes that are in the life of the institution or the way the institution is working, particularly ethical changes can we make? That is what makes a difference. So networking is needed, and only when we stand shoulder to shoulder, this is possible. Cultural shifts that prioritize. Now, we need to work for this prioritizing of cultural shifts, particularly ethics and integrity and accountability in academic institutions and beyond. See, I'll tell you how the networking actually helps. Maybe somebody who is very influential, you have network with somebody very influential who can, if you are not influential, maybe that person can influence the thought process. But you may be having the wisdom with you, and he may be having wisdom plus the efficacy to go to the institutional head and then affect some changes. Yes, definitely you can talk to him, influence him, and he will influence whoever is running the institution. So it can be that way. No, we will be actually sitting on the shoulders of giants if we network. So advocating for ethical principles is one of the responsibilities that we can shoulder when we network. Can we go to the next one, please? Thank you. Any questions or feedback from you? I think today we have a lot of time for questions and feedback. Anything you want to discuss, you can. Any challenges you have, you can. Professor Madhumita says, after attending, we are gathering that inspiration. Yes, thank you, Professor Madhumita. Professor Kennedy, thank you so much. Yeah, it requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of courage. But then courage, like I told you, courage is possible with shoulder to shoulder network. We will accompany. That's what we need to sing together.
Thank you, Dr. Metusala, for the beautiful presentation with a lot of interaction. I think you have almost covered all the questions that came in the chat. And I was just remembering the different universities and colleges, the way they function. You insisted the importance of unity and capacity building on based upon values. But yet, I definitely come across a lot of that conflict that is happening within department between principal and the head of the institution, and from the head of the institution to some faculty, and definitely there will be consequences, right? So could you throw some light upon, like if the situation is not good, because we know union is strength and coming together is definitely beautiful. And by coming together, having proper understanding, we can achieve what we want. We can be successful, but conflict, it is unavoidable. It is happening. So it might bring damage to the students or to a faculty or to the institution. So can you just highlight about the consequences if the situation is not normal in a department or in an institution?
Yeah, I understand. I think you have spoken for almost every faculty that is here. And I know that you're all with Rajula when she asked this question. See, unionism is different from networking and collaborating. So I'm not talking about unionism. You have this unionism, like, people in the universities, colleges, there are teacher federations, right? There are teacher federations, there are, teacher unions. I'm not talking about those federations and unions because they are working on the rights of the teachers. They are working on whatever has to come to them from the government or from the institution, or those things. I am not into that, and I don't say, I don't ask the faculty that are here to actually equate yourself when I say networking with that federations and unionism. No, we are coming together, we are networking. That's the reason why we have keywords here. See, first keyword is custodian, next keyword is networking, the next keyword is collaborating. So as custodians, we need to network and collaborate. And I told you in my earlier talk also, we are here to cooperate, collaborate, and not to confront. When you talk of this unionism, there is this confrontation. We are never for confrontation because as wise people, as thinkers, we are trying to give some medication to the society. The medicine's name is ethics. When we are trying to give the medication to the society, we need to know how to give that medication to the society. The society or the situation around us is like a child reluctant to take the medicine. But how does a doctor or a parent or a mother give this medicine to a reluctant child who is sick but who doesn't want to take the medicine. He or she cannot, say, hey, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to, give you punishment if you don't take this. No, there are different ways. If we are threatening people to do something, then that is our weakness. We are very weak if we are threatening. If we can dialogue, then anything is possible if we can dialogue. But this organization that we are talking about, Globe Ethics, would help you in teaching you how to dialogue, in training you how to dialogue. Because this is an international organization, we have experts who can train you on having a better dialogue. Okay, internationally also, when you interact with international organizations, they will talk about dialogue. Nobody talks about confrontation. So with this networking and this consultation, this collaboration is all about dialogue. When we have a dialogue, that dialogue must have a purpose. And our purpose is ethics. Our purpose is promotion of ethics in higher education. And that is possible when we actually uh, see this ethical things happening in the classroom. The delivery is ethical, the curriculum is ethical, the evaluation is ethical, the testing is ethical, the research is ethical, and the interaction with the no, in the corporates is ethical. So we are working in these areas. So actually, when we come together, we can discuss a lot on this and then have a beautiful dialogue, a very purposeful dialogue. See, whatever we say must be purposeful. Our dialogue must be purposeful. So this is what I actually mean.
Oh, thank you for the wonderful answer. And I very much agree with you with regard to the word that you used to dialogue. The word itself is inclusive and no one is left behind.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, that's very apt. So there are some questions in the Q&A box and some have come to a conclusion and then kind of they put it here that not all industries are ethical. How many pharma companies are ethical? Many industries do not operate fluent treatment plants. So that is from one person. And the next one, what are the global criterias that can decide, measure, and then promote ethical standard? And would you like to answer one by one, or I just take all the questions?
First question is interesting, I think. Can you please read that?
Not all industries are ethical. How many
Yeah.
pharma companies are ethical? Many industries do not operate affluent treatment plants.
That is true. See, that is true. That industry is not ethical is true. It is like, if we start thinking of this, nothing is ethical. You know, that's what I said. In a in a disturbed world, in a world of chaos, we are trying to bring order. That is why we have this discussion on ethics. It's a chaotic world, no problem, because that has been like that for ages. And you cannot suddenly put a red light there and say, I want to change everything now. No, we are thinking of the future generations. How many industries are there which are not ethical? Yes. Then maybe we should ask this question, how many industries are ethical also? See, I'll tell you one example. The world talks about growing global warming, and they say we need to reduce all this global warming, and lot of cars are being sold every day in and day out. They are competing with each other, and now their plan is every individual must have a car. When they sit together, what do they say? We have 140 crore people in India, and imagine at least we can sell our car for 100 crore, or let us say 80 crore people can we sell our car. That is our target. So if everybody buys cars, then what will happen to the environment if they are burning a lot of fuel? No, this is what, in every business, somewhere or the other, we find, unethical things which we may feel very, uncomfortable with. But then within the limitations that we have, can we do something? Within the constraints we have, can we do something, at least for the future generations? Can we do something? Particularly, see, as academicians, we can't afford to say world is unethical, so I will leave it like that. No, that's why I called you all custodians. As custodians, that cannot be our word. We cannot say that and leave it. What's the second one, madam?
Okay, next one. What are the global criterias that can decide or measure and then promote ethical standard?
Okay, global criterias that can measure. See, they say whatever we can't measure cannot be managed. Whatever you can't measure, you cannot manage. So if things are unmanageable, either they don't have metrics, or they are not being measured. So if we can network, we can build these tools to measure. These tools must be appropriate tools. No, you cannot measure a liquid with a scale, right? You cannot throw it down on the floor and then measure it with a scale. You need a different kind of tool to measure that. You cannot have a scale or a big long rope to measure Mount Everest. You have a different kind of measuring tool. So the tools are very important. So when we internationally, there are indicators of ethics, the accountability, the transparency. These things are the indicators: accountability, transparency. These are indicators. The integrity is another indicator. So, but integrity, how do we measure integrity? How do we measure integrity? Can we measure integrity? Integrity, what is the opposite of integrity? Being hypocritic. Being hypocritic is not having integrity, no? So if we look at it from the other way, we will know the answer for this. So international organizations have indicators, but measuring tools are with us. Measuring tools are with us. When you give a test to the student, we have 5 questions or 10 questions, and each question has 2 marks. That is okay, fine. There is a measuring tool, but who is measuring? We are measuring. And when we are measuring, do we want to give 2 marks to that 5 marks question, or do we want to give only 1 mark for the same question? I mean, if you give the question paper to some other teacher, that teacher may give only 1 mark. The same question paper given to some other teacher, she may give 1.5. So this is, or somebody who knows this student very much may not look at the paper at all and then just give 4 marks, even if it is not worth. So who is measuring it ultimately? Who is measuring it? And this fellow who is measuring, does he have ethics? If he's having ethics, then I think the measuring tool can go right. The measuring, see, we have every system. This is what, when NAC says something, NAC is talking about tools. NAC is talking about measuring indicators. But is the evaluator, that is whoever is doing that, are we doing it right, or is everything fine? Then where is the mistake? If we think, then we know the answer where the mistake is and how it is going on. So internationally, international, there are indicators, measuring tools you can get in different websites, but can we apply them to us? Can we measure the speed of a fish, running? We can measure the speed of a fish only swimming, not running. So that is where we are leaving our students. A student who is not good at maths, the parent wants the student to study maths. That fellow is not interested in maths. So he goes berserk and then later he starts a different kind of program. He's into drugs, drinking, all that, and the parent comes back and says the institution is bad, the faculty is bad. Now who is bad there? So this is what happens.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. John. There is a comment kind of in the chat actually. One of the professor said that he used to attend the conferences and write a paper on the topics presented at those conferences and publish it. Is it ethical?
Why not? See, right? See, wherever you are, it is not ethical if you are not quoting the author. It becomes plagiarism, right? You may be inspired by somebody. No, see, thoughts get triggered. When somebody is talking something, your thought may be triggered. Maybe it has triggered in you a different kind of thought. You have gone into a lateral thought process. No, lateral thoughts. It is like, when you put a stone in a lake, there are a lot of ripples. Likewise, when a speaker is speaking, something may trigger your thought, and when you start writing on that thought, that is not wrong. But if you are quoting everything that the speaker is speaking, no, and then if you make a paper out of that, and if somebody is publishing, I think the fellow who is publishing is uh, is not the right person. And if you are publishing such papers, definitely not ethical, because you need to quote the person who has said that. So that becomes plagiarism.
Okay, I just remembered I was in Maldives for some time. And I think once I reached there during midnight, and I was in the taxi, and there wasn't any other taxi, but the taxi waited when the signal was red in color. I just asked him, why can't you go? There is no other car. He just pointed towards the signal that was red, and when it became green, and then he started the car. And I cannot imagine that. I was in Delhi and many other places in India. Even when it is red during daytime, traffic police will be there. Still, rules are violated. I also had the opportunity to go to Switzerland, and I felt things were in order. I asked our founder, Christoph Stuckelberger, he's a Swiss person, and he said that they don't pass anything as a law when they are not going to follow that. So they have less law compared to India, but all of them follow it. If they don't follow, they actually get severe penalty. They cannot escape. They have to pay the penalty. So everyone follow the rule. So things are in order. So that must be a good learning actually for us, in fact.
Super, super. That is very super. You don't make rules when you don't want to follow. That is great.
Yes, and the next question, what are the global criterias that can decide? Okay, I think this we have just answered. Today, to be unethical is quite challenging, sir. Someone has expressed that one.
Today to be ethical or unethical?
Ethical. To be
Today,
ethical is quite challenging.
yes, that is what we are here for. Challenges. We are here for challenges. We are not here to go with the flow. Fish Salmon, right? Salmon fish. It goes against the current, and that's why we know salmon fish. And we need to see in our life. I'm telling you, after we retire, and we sit back and think, that's what I told you. What are we thinking of? What is our achievement as an academician? Have we achieved something as an academician except our salary? Is it only for salary that we are working as an academician? See, that's why I'm using this word custodian. I don't want to use this word academician, professor, lecturer, teacher. No, custodian of ethics. You are all, I am. We all together are custodians. If we are custodians, is it not our our responsibility to take the custody of ethics? And then think of that. Yes, being ethical is a challenge. Yes, every day it's a challenge. TN Session T.N. Session, our former election commissioner, T.N. Session, he had all integrity. He had all integrity, and you know why he's remembered today. He was the most ethical, election commissioner we had. Most ethical person. So yeah, there are people who take challenges, who can take challenges and still live. Don't you think that Ratan Tata did not have challenges? He took up all the challenges and he became a great industry leader. And there are leaders like that. Our Infosys founder Narayana Murthy, the most ethical person you can see. He's a very ethical person. And don't you think he has survived all the challenges? It is not impossible. It's only in us that whether we can do it or not. Yes, Rajula.
Yes, there are more questions, and I'm concerned about the timing.
Yeah.
So what shall we do? It's
No,
7:30 all.
I'm okay with the timings if there is timing and if people are ready to stay and ask, because once questions are coming, that means people are really interested in, and I'm so happy about that. People
Okay.
are really getting
Doctor,
involved.
okay. Dr. Ashish, you can write to me regarding your request. And sir, when we teach ethics to students, how do we assess them?
Assess means you want to find out whether they're ethical or not.
That is not clear in the question.
Okay. See, assessing students on ethics, how do you measure? That's where this measuring tool comes. What is the measuring tool we are developing, and how are we going to measure? That is very important. If we know that, then we can do that. We need to prepare the tools, If we want to cut the tree, what is the tool that we want? We don't want a screwdriver. We want the axe, and we need to grind the axe. So if we want to measure our students, then definitely we need to make the tool. And let me tell you, I think somebody will be, I don't know whether the next resource person will be talking on this, but I have developed one system for that. MOAD. There are measurables, there are observables, and there are deliverables, and there are achievables. M for measurables, O for observables, A for achievables, and D for deliverables. So finally, our deliverables must depend on our measurables. Because when we write what we want to measure, we will be able to design what we want to deliver, how we want to deliver also. Because what we deliver is eggs, and what we want out of those eggs is a lamb or a sheep. Then it's ridiculous. So if you want a chicken, then you need to deliver the egg of a hen, not the egg of a pigeon. So it is like that. We need to, come up with these tools to make this possible. Maybe we will have a workshop on that. Definitely, Ms. Rajula, maybe you can help us, organize a particular program on these measuring tools. We will do that. But that was a good
Sure.
question.
We are there for that. We'll do, definitely will do. What are the ways to collaborate with industries or corporates?
Yes, that is a good question. I think, with my experience of collaborating with the industry, I'm telling you, you will be definitely having a department of, collaborations in your own college or university. If it is not, you can tell the management that you would like to actually form one. See, you can actually become the caucus of ethics. You can form a small caucus on ethics with your students and the other faculty, whoever is interested in working in that area. And then if you have challenges with the industry, or if you have issues coming out of the textbooks or in the classroom, which you would actually like to reach out to the industry, you can go network with the industry. You can actually write to them, email them, or if you don't know anybody, just go there and talk to their HR. Take an appointment with them, talk to their HR. One thing is efficacy is very much needed. What we think is, oh my God, they are all, no, they are not angels. They are not, Roman emperors that we can't go and meet them. People are ready to meet in the industry also. You just need to take the appointment, go there, fix an appointment, go there, talk to them. They'll give you time. They will give you everything that is possible. I'm telling you, you can go anywhere in the world, meet anybody in this world. You just need to make an appointment. That's all. You need to have a proper issue also. Without a proper worked out challenge in your hand, do not approach them. When you're approaching them, be very clear about what you want, and then they will be clear about what they have to do.
And it is better to have some nowadays. I think every corporate or industry is having their own websites. So you need to identify the synergy and your own organization synergy, whether it is possible for you to come together. With an agenda, you can go and it is possible. Okay, so next person has complimented. Very interesting presentation. Is the network already working? If yes, how to join? Collaboration will arise from sharing and networking. Thank you. So that's a comment. Plus, we have not started the WhatsApp group, but please stay in touch with us. And I'll move on to the next question. What is the difference between ethics and conflict? Because sometimes ethics can become conflict and sometimes there is a conflict due to ethics.
Yeah, that is what we call the ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma is that there is a problem, and then we are looking for a solution. And there are ethical questions involved in that problem. So how are we going to look at ethics? So we need to ask questions on whether this is actually satisfying your conscience or not. If it is satisfying your conscience, not your morals. If it is satisfying your conscience, it is ethical. And how to, deal with the ethical dilemma? Sometimes we may be having a solution, or that's the reason we need to network with people and come to a solution that is feasible. That is not confronting, but that which is collaborating or cooperative.
Yes, thank you. And the next question, business ethics should be measurable by way of legal provisions or incorporated with value education. It's
Business,
a question.
What is can you please repeat?
I think should business ethics be measurable by way of legal provisions or it should be incorporated with the value education?
See, I have taught business ethics for some time when I was working with a business school. I was teaching business ethics. Business ethics, when we teach, we tell them what are all ethical. So whatever is ethical, I mean, see, when you're, let us say a small thing, giving kickbacks, giving a bribe for something to happen. Now we are, we are hearing a lot about Adani and his, bribes or kickbacks that he has given to the different governments for his business and all that. We are hearing. This is what is business ethics, no? So we find that something is unethical here, right? And if it is unethical, what measure is there for that? If it is against the rule book that is there, that is unethical, quite unethical, right? So if there is some molestation happening, or if there is a gender discrimination happening, then that is also unethical in business. This glass ceiling, I don't know how many of you have heard this glass ceiling thing. Glass ceiling means women are not given promotions after a particular extent. So that's called glass ceiling. There is glass ceiling in many companies. I mean, of course, these days we don't find much. It is not evident, but then it is still there. Glass ceiling is still there because they think women can't do this. So all these are ethical in business context. But if you become a leader, or if you can nurture leaders in business context, definitely they will show the solution. And if whether you are retired or not, you can say, hey, he is my student because of what I nurtured in him. He has done this. You can be proud of your student. That is your contribution to the society and the business.
Yes, that is true. And I was part of an engineering college in Bangalore, and it had several departments, and there was difference in salary, and the men were given, more salary, 30% more than the women, but yet it is the same position and the workload was also the same. Plus, the women were more competent than the men, but the salary, it used to be very less, which is very unethical. And now we have a comment from Richard Yeshun. He's in Ghana. So I'm thinking that unethical conditions can also be caused by ignorance of ethics. He's saying that unethical
Yes,
conditions
yes.
can also.
Unethical
Okay.
conditions can also happen because of ignorance. Ignorance of ethics. Ignorance is a bliss, people say, no? You find a lot
Yeah.
of that ignorance. Yes, you are right, my dear. You are right. And it is our responsibility as custodians, teachers, to, dispel the darkness and make them, knowledgeable. So from darkness to light, from the untruth, from the falsehood to the truth, from death to life. That is where we have to. In India, we have this saying, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutchorma Amrutangamaya. So we need to transcend from darkness. We need to bring people out of darkness, and definitely he is brought out of darkness. If he is brought out of darkness, he will be the most ethical person, I'm telling you.
Yes, and there is one more person saying it's very difficult to follow ethics and the principle. If we follow, we won't get success. I don't know whether it is principle or principle. It should be
Principle, I think.
Okay, the person, not the policy. Okay, so the next one. Yeah, you want to say something?
No. Yeah. There is answer in his question.
Question itself. That's right. Sir, could you please tell what are the ICT tools that will afford to access in front of students to teach a class in a better way from the next FDP program, because it's interesting and informative?
ICT tools you want? Maybe that's an idea for us, Rajula. Maybe we should think of a workshop on that. That cannot be given in just one word. I think it needs a workshop, and I want you all to also to join. If Rajula is actually organizing such program, then I want you to join.
Okay. Probably he can write to me so that I can discuss with you and then respond to him.
Definitely. That is where we will collaborate and network. Every one of you, I'm asking all of you, all the custodians. Yeah, we have to, stand shoulder to shoulder. Like, Dr. Kennedy said that he's an expert in AI. So why don't we have somebody like that? I would actually, ask him to, help us with, educating people on AI, because he is actually a consultant on AI. Why not? So you also see, I'm telling you, faculty, if you are talented, if you know that you can do something which is useful and inspiring, then you can be a part of Globe Ethics.
Yes,
You can
I
be
think
our resource persons.
Kennedy has taken the help of AI and composed a song for Globe Ethics. And AI has put the tune, music, voice, everything. So he shared with me. It was very nice. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy, for that. And the next question, nowadays, the reviewers of research articles are making the authors to include their articles at the end of the review process, which are not relevant to the article. How to address this issue?
Can you please come again?
The reviewers of research articles are making the authors to include their article at the end of the review process, which are not relevant to the article. So, how to address this issue? Maybe I don't fully understand the question. Probably it
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
framed in a different way, I believe.
No, I think he's talking about, people who have not contributed to the paper have actually put their name in that. Am I right?
Names.
Yeah, because these days it is happening because let us say Rojula has a nice idea. She has made some research and she want to publish that. But the publication needs some money. There are some magazines, I mean journals, which would publish only if you give them some money. It is from 80,000 to 1 lakh and more also I hear, because you will be in queue otherwise. If you want to be the first, you have to give money. So what happens? You will take me, you will take Rishona, Julian, or you will take Rajesh Khanna or Dikshit Rami, and we will all become others. Other one will be you, two will be the next one, three, four, five, six. So many others. So we will pool money, give that, and get the paper published. That is what is happening, and this is unethical. This is quite unethical. This is not collaboration, and networking is and should be for, you know.
Plus, okay, I see actually that the editor, co-editor for ISBN publication, I know some of them who do not speak English, but the papers in the ISBN published book, it is written in English. They are co-editors. So I was surprised actually. How come that is also happening? The people who don't read English, but they are co-editors for the research paper that is
That's
written in
what.
English. It's published with ISBN number with their photographs. The book is ready. So I was also, like somewhere I was trying to put ethics there. Okay, now there is a very interesting question. I think this question came yesterday also, kind of. What to do when we want to follow ethics, but there are situations which do not allow us to do that?
Uh, I think we need to, first of all, we need to study the situation first. Why is the situation not allowing to uh, be ethical? First, dissect the situation first, and see who can help us uh, in actually uh, dealing with this situation. That's the reason why networking and collaboration is needed. If see, whatever we think from our experience only. If we don't have that experience, let us go to a person who has that experience to deal with that situation. Let us ask him or her what to do, and then we will be able to uh, know how to deal with the situation. Without knowing the situation, we cannot deal with the situation. So first of all, whether we want to work with ethics or not comes next to dealing with the situation. Once we deal with the situation, then we can actually broach ethics with them.
Okay. Someone has said ignorance can be overcome by educating on research ethics, which is mandatory now. And also another person saying kickbacks are given by education institutions also. And one more comment. Thank you for providing such excellent session. It's indeed needed always, especially nowadays. Can we have another session with this respectable resource person, please?
Thank you so much. Definitely we will have a lot of sessions like this.
Okay, so I think it is time that we have to wrap up today's session. And very meaningful, right, Dr. John Mathusala today? A lot of questions, and maybe sometimes we think that what is that? It's a minor thing. And with regard to ethics, I think we have to take care of every minor things also. Every little things matter. So thank you so much. Today, I think this is your second presentation. You
Yes.
spoke in another meeting also.
Yes.
Plus, it was a full working day for you. And yet,
Actually,
I think,
today I'm on leave.
wow, you didn't tell me before. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation and also for being with us. And the way you have done your session, I think participants, they're feeling very comfortable in putting their, feelings with regard to ethics. Very sensitive information sometimes they cannot discuss. We spoke about coming together, collaboration and unity, but yet I think in their institution, they're not able to express. So I'm really feeling, excited, double delighted, and I'm also grateful to the participants who wholeheartedly expressed the concern, the unethical practices, the unethical dealings, which it was there in their mind for putting everything together on this webinar flow. Thank you so much, dear participants. Thank you so much, dear Dr. John Mathusala. And there is no daily feedback and only a final feedback we have. And tomorrow we will again meet at 6 p.m. Indian time. So thank you so much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajula. Thank you, Rajula and Anna, Rani Anna College, and all the participants, particularly the participants who have asked a lot of questions. Thank you so much. We'll meet again.